Wake up with the morning light, mountain air, a chilling bite. Got my pack, I'm good to go.
We continue the exciting true-life Alaskan adventure story of Norman and Sylvia Wilkins. If you missed any earlier episodes, please be sure to go back and enjoy them. The Alaska Diaries is a narrated true story based on first-hand journal accounts from 1979 through the 80s and 90s, following one couple's journey to build a life in the Alaskan wilderness. Told in immersive, audiobook-style episodes, this series brings you into the mud, the cold, the danger, and the determination it takes to keep going. Subscribe and follow the journey if you enjoy true survival stories, wilderness adventure, and real-life grit. Turn on notifications so you don't miss the next chapter. New episodes premiere weekly. The Alaska Diaries, 10,000 Days. Episode 7. Norman brings Sylvia back to Alaska. June 1980. Part 1. Late winter and a work that doesn't wait. March came in quiet. Winter still had a firm hold on Nelchina. Snow packed deep, the glacier sitting silent off in the distance. The air sharp enough to remind you where you were every time you stepped outside. On Saturday, March 1st, 1980, I sat down with the year-end books spread out on the table. Figures had to be settled before anything else could move forward. The wind worked its way along the eaves while I went through the numbers. There was talk around the lodge, real talk about gold. A man from Anchorage, David Harding with NPR, came through and interviewed all of us. He was asking questions, recording voices, trying to capture what was starting to build. I didn't have much to say, but I knew what was happening, and I meant to be part of it. Part 2. The glacier and a warning beneath the snow. Before daylight on Sunday, March 2nd, Dan flew Henry and me out to the Nelchina Glacier. We had claims to restake and more ground to mark if we could manage it. We moved along on snowshoes most of the day. At one point, I was out ahead, pulling 100-foot steel tape behind me, letting it slide across the snow while Henry followed. Then I heard it. Water. Running water. That stopped me. Henry, don't come forward. I didn't turn around quick. Just started easing my way back, placing each snowshoe exactly where it had been. The Nelchina River runs out of that glacier all year long, whether you can see it or not. I'd walked right over it. How deep you figure? Henry called. I took another careful step back. Deep enough, I said, and I don't aim to measure it today. We moved off from there, both of us a little quieter. Alaska has a way of reminding you. Part 3. The long road south. By March 5th, I was headed out. Minnesota's a long way from Nelchina in winter. A long road through Canada, through stretches where if something goes wrong, you're on your own for a while. I stopped in for breakfast with Mike and Lynette on the way through. She made pancakes with salmon in them. Never had pancakes like that before, I told her. You will again, she said. I figured she was probably right. The road stretched on after that. Somewhere along the way, I spotted a wolverine moving low along the edge of the snow. Not far from it, a handful of ptarmigan were shifting around, nervous. I slowed the truck a little. Go on, I said under my breath. You'd best be quick about it. The birds flushed all at once, scattering into the air. The wolverine kept on moving like nothing had happened. It would catch something. Maybe not that day, but it would. The rest of the trip had its moments. Caught the edge of a snow berm once and had to correct quick. Had a moose standing right in the road that didn't feel like moving. Near Fort Nelson, a pipeline truck came up fast behind me and cut sharp in front, pushing me offline. I held steady and worked the truck back straight. Later on, I'd just say I got lucky. But luck's only part of it. Part 4. Minnesota, the choice that matters. I got into Minneapolis on March 10th, 1980. Family gathered up. Lots of talking. Good to see everyone again. And Sylvia was there. She'd been thinking things through. We talked one evening after things had quieted down, just the two of us. It's not easy out there, I told her. Work every day. Long ways from here. I know, she said. There was a pause. I miss you, she added. I figured you might. We both smiled a little at that. If I come back, she said, I'm not just visiting. No, I said. You wouldn't be. It's your life out there. It could be ours. She sat with that for a bit. Then she took a breath. All right, she said. I'll come. I nodded. Good. That was about all there was to it. But I knew something had changed. Part 5. Fire, farewell, and the road north again. The time in Minnesota went by fast after that. We visited people, got around to see folks we hadn't seen in a while. It was good to reconnect, but things were already moving forward. On April 21st, there were grass fires east of Staples. Wind was pushing them hard. We got hoses ready, packed things up in case we had to leave quick. We stood ready. Then the wind shifted. Fire went the other way. House was spared. Felt like we'd been given the go-ahead. By May 7th, 1980, Sylvia and I were on the road north. Together this time. The trip back wasn't any easier. Long days, short sleep, cold mornings. We stopped for a meal and talk at one point. Pancakes again, but they were soggy this time. I set my fork down. We'll do better than that, I said. Sylvia smiled a little. I hope so. We kept moving. Got into Nelchina at 11 o'clock that night on May 10th. Home, or what was going to be. 6, building a life, one board, one pup at a time. The next days were full. Getting settled, hauling the rest of our things, putting our place back together. Then we started building forward. I brought the puppies home on May 13th. Small things, full of energy. These are going to be sled dogs, I told Sylvia. All of them, she asked. Every last one. One of them stood out right away. Oscar. Oscar didn't see much point in staying where he was put. Next day, he slipped loose and wouldn't come back. Oscar, I called. He had other ideas. We ended up bringing his mother over. He came right to her, and we caught him then. Smart dog, I said. Sylvia looked at me. Which one? I had a smile at that. Around the same time, I started on the greenhouse. On May 24th, I leveled out a spot near the cabin. It won't be big, I told her. It doesn't have to be, she said. I framed it up myself. 8 feet by 8 feet, 8 feet tall. Put clear panels on it so it would catch what sun we'd get. Worked on it steady for days. By the end of May, it was standing. Sylvia stepped inside, ran her hand along the bench. I can grow things here, she said. That's the idea. It wasn't much to look at, but it mattered. The pups kept growing. I built dog houses, 4 of them, made harnesses, started working with them little by little. I want to do this right. If I was going to live in Alaska, I wasn't going to just pass through it. I was going to learn it. Oscar kept testing that idea. One day he got loose again, stood just out of reach like he was thinking things over. You planning to come back? I asked him. Were you just visiting? He came close enough eventually. Sylvia laughed. I think he's training you. Could be. Part 7. A quiet understanding. By the end of June, things had changed. Snow was gone. Water running everywhere. Ground soft again. The days stretching long with light. And there was more life around. You could see if you paid attention. Tracks in the mud. Birds moving through the brush. One of these mornings, I told Sylvia, you'll see a wolverine come through here. Do they come that close? She asked. Close enough. I told her about the one I'd seen on the road, working its way along after ptarmigan. Did it catch one? Not that time, I said. Then after a second, but it will. We started fishing more as things opened up. Not for sport, just part of being there. At Peter's place, we stood along a narrow stream, grayling rising now and then. Sylvia cast out. Too fast? She asked. Let it drift, I told her. She tried again. This time the line tightened. Oh, easy, I said. Don't rush it. She didn't. Brought it in steady. I did that, she said. You did. Some trips were harder. Out at Taslina Lake, the trail fought us most of the way in mud, water, steep sections where we had to cut around. We fished anyway. Lost a couple. Caught a few. That's how it goes. Back at the cabin, that greenhouse needed water all the time. It's a lot of work, Sylvia said one evening. I looked at the small green shoots coming up. Most things worth having are. She studied them, then nodded. The dogs settled in. The place started to feel different. Less like something we were passing through. More like something we were building. One evening, we stood outside together. Light still hanging in the sky. Greenhouse holding the last warmth of the day. Dog quiet. Something moved out along the tree line. Couldn't see it clear, but it was there. Sylvia slipped her hand into mine. I held it. Didn't say anything. Didn't need to. We'd made the decision, and it had brought us here. Together. This concludes episode 7. If you're enjoying the story and would like the books this story is based on, Go to 10,000daysinalaska.com for more info. Episode 8 will air next Saturday at 7 a.m. Alaska time. And for all you Midwesterners watching and listening, that means 10 a.m. Central Daylight Time. Project: the Alaskan Box-Style Doghouse. In the Alaskan interior, winter isn't just a season. It's a test of preparation. Today we're building the gold standard of northern shelters, the Alaskan Box-Style Doghouse. Whether you're housing a working sled dog or just want a rugged, insulated shelter for your outdoor companion, this design is built to withstand the harshest conditions. In this tutorial, you'll learn why the offset entrance is a lifesaver in high winds, the importance of a thermal base for floor insulation, why a low-volume design is superior for trapping body heat, how a removable roof makes maintenance a breeze. Materials used: 5/8-inch CDX plywood, 2x2 spruce framing, and 1-inch rigid foam board. Subscribe to follow our 10,000-day journey in the Alaskan wilderness and master the skills of the North. Materials and tools: lumber, 2 sheets of 4 foot by 8 foot by 5/8-inch CDX plywood, avoid treated wood for the interior. Framing: 2x2 spruce or pine studs for the interior corners. Insulation: 1-inch rigid foam board, optional but recommended for the Arctic. Fasteners: 1 5/8 deck screws. Roofing: heavy-duty rolled roofing or scrap of pond liner. 2. The instructions. 1. The base. Start with your base. For a full-grown sled dog, you want a footprint of roughly 24 inches wide by 36 inches deep. Cut your plywood floor and frame it underneath with 2x2s. This keeps the floor off the frozen ground, creating a crucial thermal break. 2. The walls. Now let's put up the sides. Cut 2 side panels at 36-inch long. Make the front 24-inch high and the back 18 high. This creates a shed roof slope. Why? Because sled dogs love to sit on top of their houses to keep watch, and a slight slope sheds snow while remaining a comfortable perch. 3. The offset entrance. This is the most important part, the offset hole. Cut your entrance on the front panel, but shift it all the way to one side. Make it roughly 12 inches by 12 inches. By offsetting the hole, the dog can curl up in the dead air space on the other side, protected from the wind whipping in the door. 4. The roof. Finish with a lid. Cut your roof piece with a 2-inch overhang on all sides. Pro tip for the channel: don't nail the roof down. Use a simple hinge or just gravity. A removable roof makes cleaning out old straw a 10-second job instead of a back-breaking chore. Materials and dimensions. For a full-grown sled dog, like an Alaskan Husky or Malamute, keep the volume low. If the house is too big, the dog can't heat it with their body weight. Component. Dimensions. Material: floor, 24 inches by 36 inches. 5/8-inch CDX plywood. Front wall: 24-inch high. 5/8-inch CDX plywood. Back wall: 18-inch high. 5/8-inch CDX plywood. Sides X2: 36-inch long, slanted. 5/8-inch CDX plywood. Roof: 28 inches by 40 inches. 5/8-inch CDX plywood. 2. Step-by-step instructions. Step 1. The raised base. Screw 2x2 spruce studs to the bottom of the floor piece. We start with a thermal break. Never let the floor touch the frozen ground. We use 2x2s as skids to create an air gap. This keeps the rising damp and cold away from the dog's belly. Step 2. The offset entrance, the secret to warmth. Draw a 12-inch by 12-inch square on the far left or right side of the front panel. Most people put the door in the center. That's a mistake. You want an offset entrance. By putting the hole to one side, the dog can crawl in and tuck around the corner into a dead air pocket where the wind can't reach them. Step 3. Assembling the slope. Attach the side walls. Notice the slope? We go from 24 inches in the front down to 18 in the back. This sheds snow, but more importantly, it makes a perfect elevated perch. Sled dogs love to sit on top of their houses to survey the yard. Step 4. The removable roof. Set the roof on top without nailing it, or using a simple heavy-duty hinge. Don't nail the roof down. In Alaska, we swap out bedding frequently. A removable roof lets you pitch out old, damp straw and bed it down with fresh, drywood wool or straw in seconds. 3. Finishing touches. Insulation tip. If you're in the extreme cold, mention sandwiching 1-inch rigid foam between 2 layers of plywood for the walls. The straw test. Straw stays dry, blankets freeze. Safety. Always sand the edges of the entrance hole. A dog's coat can catch on splinters, causing skin irritation.